Welcome to this week of Get Fixed the podcast. Coach Cam, Coach Klopp, Coach George, what's going on?
Yo, we back.
What's up? Another episode for you. What's up?
Man, we got a special guest in the building with us today, a very special guest, a guy we've been talking about a lot. Every week, pretty much. Mr. Consistent is here. Man, introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Dominic Loparo. Play football at Wadsworth.
Okay, that's what's up.
Okay, give us a little background. What year are you, Dom?
I'm a senior. I'm a running back.
Okay, for everyone to know, Dom's a little shy right now, but he's a senior running back at Wadsworth right now. They're coming off a pretty good season right now, and
A very good season.
So we're just gonna get right into it, man.
This is Mr. Consistent.
Right here. Yeah, if you ever heard talking about Mr. Consistent, this is him right there. Matter of fact, Dom, I know you tweeted your stats out, man. Tell them what your stats was, bro.
I rushed for 161 carries for 1,600 yards, and I had 12 receptions for 256 yards. So I had over 1,800 all-purpose yards.
How many TDs?
27.
27 touchdowns.
And he ended most of them games early. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's
Majority of those games were ended early. So, man, let's get right into it, man. So, describe your experience at Wadsworth, from growing up in Wadsworth to where you are now.
Growing up in Wadsworth, as a kid, you should play football there because that's all that gets talked about, and you always go to the games when you're a kid on Friday nights. And I always looked up to those kids, so really growing up for Wadsworth, I'm just grateful that I got the opportunity to play football there. I'm very thankful for all my coaches and family for always supporting me, and you guys at Fix too.
What's the what's the school environment like, man? I know the few times I've been to Wadsworth, it seems like the town is pretty laid back, but it just shuts down for football.
Yeah, we're pretty laid back school, I guess. Going to school at Wadsworth is it's pretty normal to a high school day. So, but once football season starts, Friday nights, that's when it all turns
crazy.
up. Yeah,
Definitely. So, man, something I noticed this year, you changed your number, and I was very intrigued to know why you went from 3 to 17, man. Explain that to us. What was the purpose behind it, or was it just a number change?
Well, I was 17 all my life, growing up in youth and middle school in my freshman year, and then
That's a great number.
Yeah, and just sophomore year, a senior had it, or a junior had it, and I wasn't able to get it my sophomore junior year, so I just kind of picked 21 and 3 as just random numbers that I have, and then 17 switched back to because I had to my senior year.
Okay.
Ain't got no problem with that, man.
Yeah, 17 was my number.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Was my number because remember I was a quarterback first, but I just never changed it.
Charlie Ward.
Yeah. Hey, so Dom, I got a chance to know you since you was you used to play against my nephew, and the first thing that I heard about you was that you was this great wrestler, and now you're one of the top wrestlers in the area. So
State.
Yeah. So what is your goals this year, man? Give us where you finished at last year, and what is your goals for this year?
I finished 5th in the state last year.
What weight class?
At 160.
At 160?
Yeah.
How much you weigh now? Hold on. You said 160. How much you weigh now?
About 200.
That's a year, bro. That's a year. You put in a lot of weight on, man. Well, then again, you probably lost on the rest of that 160, though.
Yeah, I was about 175 before.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense, but still.
That's 25 pounds.
So what's your goals for this year, man?
My goals are to win a state title. I'm ranked 2nd in the state right now, and I feel pretty confident in my abilities this year. So.
What was your record?
Last year I was 42-6.
42-6. That's what's up. That's dope.
What weight class you wrestling this year?
195.
195. Okay.
Yeah, they added that extra weight division in there.
Yeah.
So, what sport you like the best? Wrestling or football?
I love wrestling, but I've been playing football since I was 6 years old, so I got to go with football.
So you wasn't wrestling when you was younger?
No, I started wrestling when I was 5, but football's always been
Your
It's
love.
just football. So
Okay.
You love
I
football.
love football.
You like wrestling, but you
I
love
like
football.
wrestling, but I love football.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. That's that 101 right there. That's true 101. Mano a mano.
Austin wrestled, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I never wrestled. My dad wanted me
I
to
wrestled
wrestle.
all the way up to my freshman year, man, but I wasn't no serious wrestler. But so what was your motivation behind playing football though?
My motivation behind playing football was just I always, I mean, always at recess when we were younger, we always played football, and I felt like, why not? My dad played, my grandpa played. I mean, I'm from a football family, so it's kind of, I felt like it was expected for me to play football.
Yeah, plus y'all got a big tradition out there, Wadsworth.
Yeah,
so
Wadsworth.
you growing up
Football's
like
huge.
football.
Yeah, they was having like two, 3 teams. in
Yeah,
the same age
Pee Wee,
group.
they had
Yeah.
two teams when we went out there and played them. That's what's up.
So they gave me this question because I'm undersized running back. So people call you undersized running back. How do you handle that?
I take it as motivation. It kind of puts a chip on my shoulder to go out there and play even harder. And I mean, once we're out there, I never feel undersized. Like, I always go out there and I'm always the kid making people miss and kind of making the crowd get a little bit hyped. So
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
It don't matter what size.
once you're out there, you're out there.
We tear them up regardless. If you can describe yourself to a college coach who is recruiting you, what would you say about yourself?
I'd say I'm one of the hardest workers you're ever gonna find. So, and I'm never late. I don't miss practices. I'm always in the weight room. I'm always there an hour before games, getting everything ready. And once game time goes, I'm focused. And I'm always focused throughout the week on the game. I'm that kid who watches the extra little bit of film.
Man, that's gonna go a long way.
Long way.
Definitely in college, because you're definitely gonna need to know what your opponent gonna do, because the speed of the game is gonna be a lot faster, and it's gonna slow it down for you too.
You're in a recruiting phase right now, going around talking to different schools, visiting different schools. Talk about that a little bit. What schools you contacted, what schools you've been to, and then what you're looking to major in.
I'm talking to Mount Union, Valparaiso, and Akron, and I talked to Grand Valley State for a little bit, and Morehead State, and those are all good schools. So
Yeah.
And I'm looking to major in special education.
Okay.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yep, I'm in special education at East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I work in the NOW program. So with the recruitment process, with you getting started and going through it, how is that for you? Is it stressful? Is you having fun with it? How's that going? Because I know sometimes it can be a stressful situation.
I think it's a little bit stressful sometimes. 'Cause sometimes I feel like I'm one of the best players out there, and I'm not really getting the looks that like you would like. But I'm always grateful for a school that gives me a chance to play college football. College football is a blessing. So.
So describe. We talked about your visit to Mount Union, and another kid that we work with. You told me about this catch DJ Harvey made, and we saw it a little bit after. You told me that. So describe, because me being a Division III athlete, I know a lot about Mount. I know a lot about that conference. I know their top tier program. So describe how that visit was and what you got out of it.
My visit to Mount was pretty sweet. I really liked the campus right when you walked in. They took us right into the weight room, and I was like, I could see myself here lifting. And their coach was really cool. And then Coach Garn was really cool. He's the one who told me to come up there and visit. And then once the game got going, it's just like you saw how they played and how hard they played, and I want to be a part of that. And that's how I play. So
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah,
That's where I used to play at growing up, man. So I know we used to watch them on Saturdays, man. Mount Union is a great school, and Coach Gears is a great coach.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is great too, and they're gonna push you every day down there if that's where you choose to go.
He was a high school teammate of yours, right?
Yeah, he was a high school teammate of mine. He played defensive end, and his dad used to always talk to me about trying to come to Mount Union, but I'm like, bro, I'm not living in Alliance. I'm sorry. I love y'all. Y'all great, and that was right before they start taking off too. they took off probably like 2 years later when they started winning all those championships. But up until that point, like early 90s, they was like decent. But Coach Karras did a great job of having high character guys that was there, because a lot of them kids, after they left there, they worked at our high school. So, you know what I'm saying? They definitely set you up for after football career working there. You'll definitely be successful academically and after school.
I think the few times that I saw Mount Union this year, no, I didn't really get to watch them a lot when I was in college, and even a little bit after that, just because of, I didn't have as much free time as I do now. You really see how well, like, they're coached, like how hard they play, everything. So, I mean, regardless of just, winning national championships and all that, I think it's like a misconception for someone that's on the outside looking that hasn't physically watched those dudes play. Like, they all play like to a T from
Well-oiled machine.
Well-oiled machine from the kickoff to punt to offensive line to everything, and what I admire about, when I watched them play John Carroll this year, and John Carroll is a pretty good school, pretty good team, and they came at you with all facets of the game, but they were having fun. Like, and I think, sometimes when programs are winning, I know we talked about, Urban Meyer and Ohio State and how the fun aspect was kind of lost over the last few years. Urban Meyer was there, and now, like, you look at Ohio State now, and Ryan Day is kind of more relaxed, and so you're starting to see these guys have more fun, and it's accumulating the wins.
Yeah.
So that's big, man. So let's switch gears real quick. All district. First of all, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
First team running back.
First team all district.
All district.
You were all district on defense last year, right?
Yeah, second team.
Second team on defense. So
That's what's up, though.
So hold on. Let's hold on. So, and we did talk about this earlier in the year. How did you feel about not playing as much defense as you did last year?
I mean, they needed me a lot on offense, but I really liked playing defense last year, so I wasn't really upset that I wasn't playing defense, but like they kind of had.
He's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like the few games I saw you last year, like you're playing out like outside linebacker and you're flying around everywhere, like making tackles over here, making tackles over there, and then you're going on offense, and you're platooning. You get your carries, and then the other running back gets your carries, but you're opening holes for your other running back. So just tell us how different from this year to last year, how you matured as a player and a leader.
Well, last year we had a 2 running back system, and I was with the senior Brock Snowball, and he was a really big leader to me. Like that was my boy last year in the backfield.
His dad used to coach me in college. He was
Yeah.
a coordinator at Akron. Now we just talk about it.
Yeah, Snowball. I remember
Yeah,
that.
he used to push me, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but he kind of like he taught me the ropes a little bit in the backfield, and I kind of just took off from there and just grew as a leader. I felt like I could take a lot from him last year, just leading the team, and I tried to put that into what I did over the summer, just being a leader and pushing guys on our team and making them go that extra step.
That's what's up.
Were you a vocal leader, or were you a more watch me, do me type of leader?
I was a watch me, do me type of leader. Like, I always went hard, and I got vocal when kids weren't going hard, though.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be when it's coming from the best player, when you
Yeah.
give it all each time.
That was a quality I struggled with in college until you actually see that what you say when you look and you're saying something and you got 65 guys looking at you. I think that's when you're going to realize it, because I know I had a real big problem with that, because I'm more like, I'm just going to show you. I don't say too much. I'm just here to do what I got to do. Let's get this win. Let's go home. But yeah, let's talk about these all district guys, man.
That's a long list there, bro.
Man,
Skim through it.
you can't skim through it. We gotta give a shout out to everybody.
So let's
That's a nice list.
So let's talk about our first team guys. We're looking at one of them right now, Dominic Loparo. Congratulations. Congratulations to Dalen Stovall from Stowe, Tyson Durant from Kenton McKinley, Diamante Trainum from Hoban, Caleb Vega, and Ryan Watkins from Barberton. Those two guys made it on defense, which is
Hmm?
yeah. Those two guys made it on defense, which is crazy because majority of all the Barbarian highlights outside of
It's all offense.
McKinney is of those two. So
Well, that's how they do it. They have to make room for
Other people. So
other people to make it,
yeah.
and so that's what they do. They make sure they get in somewhere.
and congratulations to Savion Washington and Jaheim Peak. We had Jaheim on the show last week. Congratulations to him. East Boys, Bengali Kamara,
Golly.
Deshaun Jones. So congratulations to the first team guys. Second team, all district. Big Walt.
Big walk.
Walter Gannis from Hoban, Victor Dawson from Hoban, Alvin Stallworth Jr. from Hoban, Romeo Felton from Akron East, Tariq Williamson from East, Marlon Lee from East, and Mr. Gates got on me because I initially forgot George Rozier.
Yeah.
That's his boy, so he
Yeah.
he had to let me know. So congratulations to the second team. Honorable mention, and I feel some of these guys should have been first or second.
Yeah.
Honestly, looking at this list, congratulations to Jaden Seals from Alliance,
Little cuz.
James Clark from Ellet, David Haverstick from Ellet, Calvin Alexander from Ellet,
All right, Calvin.
my boy Jameer James from Twinsburg, Amarion Robinson from East, Sean Gates from East, Aaron Spooney from Bookdale, Daquan Sanders from Bookdale, Ricky Good from Bookdale, my guy Evan Teeling from Talmadge, and our favorite person, Rich Tail McAllister, aka Telly. Congratulations, man. But Dom, I have a question for you. So we met you 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago. You were in the 8th grade. So you're looking at this list right now, and it's a lot of guys that played in the same game that you played in. So, we're looking at
It's 18.
18 guys on this list that all you guys met 5 years ago as 8th graders. We talking Tyson Durant, we talking Diamante, we talking Caleb Ryan, Deshaun Jones, Big Walt,
Yep.
Marlon,
Yeah.
Bam,
Yep, man.
Dave Haverstick.
Dave Haverstick,
Marion.
Marion, Jalen Ross,
Yep.
Terrence Key.
Terrence Keys, Caden Clark.
And Luke Lindsay.
So,
All guys, man.
so when you look at that list, and you can think about your football career and how you started, and you see those guys on the list, and then you see you on the list as well. How does that make you feel, or what's your thoughts on that?
That's pretty dope.
That's crazy. We seen it in y'all level. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, we had a lot of ballers out there in 8th grade, and I could see it too. Like, it's because there'd be something. So.
Yeah, you can tell that all those kids from that game was gonna be something special, and obviously they all turned out to be, man. And that's a credit to all the work that all your kids. Congratulations
Over the years.
Over the years, it wasn't just one time. That's the one thing that some of the kids that's listening now. A lot of these kids been putting in work for years to get to this point where they at. You don't become successful overnight. Like my cousin told me before, success is a journey, not a destination. You know what I'm saying? So, every day you got to work to be successful.
Yeah, there's a lot of trial and tribulations to get where they at on this list. As juniors and seniors, majority of them seniors, but some juniors on there too. But yeah, it's kudos to you guys for the hard work you guys put in. But to see all you guys as seniors now, like I said,
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That
That's incredible.
I told you
man.
about that. Just looking at it like that, watching y'all pretty much become young men from kids was great to see. And what I like about what I see, especially social media, y'all all show each other love. I don't think it ever died down. Especially when someone gets an accomplishment. I feel like you guys have never shied away from just acknowledging each other, and I think that's great because we come from an era where it was hard to acknowledge someone that was good publicly. You know, you might say it outside talking to X, Y, and Z, but publicly, you know, I think it was just how, you know, and we didn't have a lot of social media, so
I think that's the biggest key nowadays. These kids living off social media. You know, we didn't have that back then, and you had to earn your respect on the field. You couldn't, you know, throw up no workout videos and all that stuff to, you know, get recognized. You had to earn it with your pads on. And I think that's the biggest difference, you know. But it's also the social media world is helping these kids
Definitely.
A lot more. Talking to different coaches from different areas that I know back in the day that we would never have talked to, just because of, you know, lack of being able to get film out there to those coaches. But now you can get it out there to anybody in a drop of a dime, you know. So this is the social media thing, and I think it's getting the biggest piece of it.
just by a retweet, man. So like I said, I know I saw you you and Tyson Durant talking, and you know I've seen Caleb, and I mean I've seen a lot of
People, give
that,
each
you know,
other
just
shout-outs, like,
back and forth with congratulations, and but like I said, just watching a lot of y'all grow up, you know, I think it's a pleasure just to see it, because all you guys are good kids, and all you guys are gonna go to the next level, and I don't think your success is gonna stop, honestly.
Y'all just all y'all gonna continue to grow. You can see it with your growth now, and then you know y'all all got good heads on y'all shoulders, so y'all gonna continue to grow at the next level. I definitely believe that.
And I think y'all will secretly motivate each other without actually talking. Just
They do though.
You know,
they do.
you know, you know, because it's kids that talk like, I got to get more yards than Dom. You know, I got to get more yards than Chip. Vic did this.
I heard when we started the podcast and we started calling him Mr. Consistent, you know, I heard it at school a little bit. So what's the big deal of this Mr. Consistent? And I started throwing numbers out there to him. You know, the kids, they'll listen here and there on the podcast.
Let's skim it, yeah.
But, you know, I started throwing numbers out, and they was like, really? Like, every week? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know.
In 2 quarters.
In 2 quarters.
So you got your highlight film stuff together?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You do? Everything ready to go? Oh, okay. That's what's up. You gotta send that to me, man.
Hey, you know what's funny?
I got a coach, Coach Winters at Wayne State. I'm about to send him. Say, Coach Winters, you better come get him. You know what I'm saying? They Division II. I'm about to send it. No, send it to me. I'm like, he already waiting for people.
He came in and talked to me in the winter.
Who, Coach Winters?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know Coach Snowball and him, they was, you know, they was on the same staff together, man. So I know. Yeah, that's good, man. So yeah, send it to me. I'm gonna send it to him directly. I just literally talked to him last week.
You know what's funny about those highlight tapes, right? So I think
I know you too. That's good.
I think a lot of kids are starting to listen, because I'm starting to get messages like, "Is this too long? Take a look at this." You know, and I'm looking at it, you know, and I'm like, "No, this is good." I mean, it's kind of long, but you got a lot of good plays in here, you know. So
as
I
long
think
as it's the good ones, not the
ones you thought were good.
Yeah. Not the tackles 15 yards down the field. Unless you came from the other side of the field, that's not going to be a good one. Okay.
Or just like a one-on-one personal battle that you threw in there. You know, I think that's what Austin was really getting at with the right plays, because you know we see a lot of tapes and it's like, you put that on your personal one, you know, that you show your friends. But let's recap last week from
high school playoffs.
Second round of the high school playoffs.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, so we had Mentor beat McKinley. We had Eds beat Euclid. We had Massillon jumped out on Perry really early. We had
it was bombs over back.
Yeah. We had a great game out there in where was the game at, George?
It was in
Nordonia
High School.
And Macedonia. So we had a good game out there with Hoban and Mayfield. Avon took care of Benedictine. Avon Lake squeaked by Wadsworth. And then we had Aurora beating Philly, and Chardon beat Streetsboro. So
Chardon.
They dog Streetsboro.
Yeah, Streetsboro threw up donuts, man.
Yeah.
Freesburg scored a point.
Yeah, I know, like 28 nothing.
35 now.
35 nothing? Nah, that must be the last time I seen it.
So now we got regionals.
Ooh.
And we got teams that could punch their ticket to the Final Four.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's huge getting out the region. What's the most intriguing matchup?
Well, we all know that.
We already know that one right now, man.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, it's two of them really, but
No,
everybody
it's
knows
one.
it's really one. Right?
It's going to be at the
Everybody know that
University of
Hogan
Akron
It's gonna
Friday
be
night at 7 o'clock.
That's the most interesting one, man.
Maslin Tigers versus Archbishop Hogan.
I guess they calling it if the tradition gets the tuition. That's what some people call it.
Okay.
Well, I'm not calling it that, but that's the most intriguing one, though.
So pick them. Pick your games. So we got
I'll
Mentor
go
Neds.
first,
We got Hoban and Maslin. We got Aurora and Chardon.
And the Avons.
And we got the battle of Avon
Lake.
and Avon Lake.
I'm gonna go with. I got Mentor right here, but before I came, I was thinking St. Anne's about to pull the upset. I just read something that had Mentor 7th in the country. Then I got, of course, I'm gonna ride with Hogan.
Self-explanatory. Okay.
Yep. And then Avon over Avon Lake. I think Coach Elder finally make it to the Final Four. And then I got Aurora over Chardon. I think Aurora just gonna be too much for them on the defensive end. I don't know what they're gonna do offensively, but I think Aurora's defense will be able to slow that down.
Who you like, Austin?
I'm going with Mentor. I'm going with Mentor over Eds. This Hoban Maslin game is going to be a knockout, drag out, but it's kind of hard to go against Hoban after winning 4 straight state championships. I am going to go with Avon Lake, though. And I'm going to go with Aurora.
Okay. Dom, who you like?
I'm going to go with Menor over Eds. No, I don't have any love for Maslin, so I'm going to go with Hoban. I'm going to go with Avon Lake over Avon. And I'm going to go with Aurora over Chardon.
Okay. I like where everyone's headed. I don't think I'm going to call too many audibles today. I like Eds, man, over Mentor.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like this air raid that Mentor always has, it eventually comes to an end in the playoffs. And I feel like Eds is one of those teams that knows how to
stop him.
And it's a rematch.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm taking Eds. Hoban and Maslin, I have no love for Maslin. I'm a Bookto guy. I was fortunate enough to play against Maslin twice in my career. Beat them one time, lost the second time. But they're just I can't go with Maslin for anything, especially football. So I'm riding with Hoban. This Avon Lake and Avon is very intriguing. I got a buddy that I work with who is he graduated from Avon Lake. His wife teaches at Avon, and he wears Avon gear to work.
Wow.
So and this week, I've been on him, just never graduate, never go against your school. And he's like, I don't know what I'm going to wear or not. I was like, it shouldn't be a question. I told him, I feel like you just crossed the lake off your diploma and that you're from Avon, So I was like, your wife will be okay. So I'm taking Avon Lake. Like I said last week, I'm really kind of not a fan of Avon. I don't know how they win, but they're doing it. I respect it, but I'm taking Avon Lake. And this Aurora and Chardon, 2 teams I'm familiar with as well as a player. But I saw Aurora this year at Barberton, man, and that defense, that Barner kid, I told y'all when I first saw him,
Number 11.
When I was texting y'all about it, while I was watching him, he ended up getting District Player of the Year.
Yes.
That Barner kid is good. He's long.
That's what I'm going to overtake.
He's going to Ohio. He's going to Ohio. He's listed as a DN, but he's been playing middle linebacker. But it's not just him. That defense is good.
They got a small safety who come down and
Papish.
rock it.
Papish is good too.
He come
Number
down
2.
rock.
But I feel like they got the defense to slow this misdirection down from Chardon. So I'm gonna take Aurora. And we'll see. You know, it should be some good matchups. Should be some good games. So we're just gonna have to find out and see. But college football, man, this is getting to the nitty gritty of the end of the season, and everything's starting to pan out right now, man. So just to recap, you know, we didn't have too much action last week as far as this top 25. But of course, we all picked Auburn. Auburn let us down again. We all picked Iowa in an upset over Minnesota.
No. I had to go refresh mine. I did not pick Auburn.
Okay.
I had to check on that one.
Excuse me.
Because last time I went against Georgia, I was like, no, Florida blew it. So.
We all picked Oklahoma over Baylor in a close one. And I don't think we really cared about the Notre Dame Navy game. But this week, this is kind of like the make or break for some teams. So, of course, we got Penn State at Ohio State. We got UCLA at USC. We got Illinois at Iowa, and I'll get to why that's intriguing to me. We got Texas A&M at Georgia, Michigan at Indiana, Texas at Baylor, SMU at Navy, Temple at UC, and Oregon at Arizona State. Most intriguing matchup outside of the obvious.
No, it's in my eyes. It's 2 of them on here. It's that Illinois at Iowa game. Illinois is bowl eligible for the first time.
I was just about to say that, and they had lost to Eastern Michigan earlier this year, and they are 6-3 now.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Levy did a great job, man. Yeah, he did a great job, man.
My other one though, is this Temple at UC. Because Temple been balling.
Man, ain't all season, man.
Temple been balling, man.
They've been killing me on my sheets, man. Like, dang.
Yeah, so those are my 2 most intriguing.
What's your thoughts, Dom?
Oh, I'm a Michigan guy, so I got to go with Michigan and Indiana.
Okay.
I'll be watching that game. And then probably Temple at UC. I remember watching Temple this year. They look good.
Okay. You know, Indiana lost their quarterback, so but Indiana could put some points on the board.
Yeah.
They can score, so but I'm going to call an audible real quick. I think this Texas A&M Georgia is a little more intriguing than what it looks like on paper, because Georgia could get caught sleepwalking right now. I don't think at home they're going to lose it, but I'm going to say it, man, and this SMU at Navy, man. Navy's the favorite.
Really?
-3. At home.
They probably figuring SMU's defense can't really deal with that Navy offense, even though I don't know if
how many teams
can. I don't know if Navy defense is gonna be able to deal with SMU offense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They just gave up 50 to Notre Dame, so you got a lot of plays you can pick from that you can work on against that defense.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about Baylor? Does Baylor respond, or does Baylor go downhill from here?
No, I think Baylor responds.
I think Baylor responds.
Yeah,
okay.
Baylor responds.
How about you, Don?
Yeah, I think Baylor's going to respond.
Because they was at, 21 last week?
28, I think.
28, 25. It was something. It was 20 something.
It was changed the channel up.
It was. That's what it was looking like. It was like trying to change the
channel.
channel.
Let you know that they really right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that matchup, you already called it too. Like it's gonna be the rematch in the Big 12.
Be the rematch. So I also think UCLA could be a little interested too.
Yeah.
Just because it's a rivalry, and I think
that was my pick.
But they always play up to USC.
And guess what? They almost bowl eligible too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, bro. They came. Like what they've been doing the last couple of years is they start slow, and they was actually picked to be one of the top teams this year in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's been disappointing, but they've been able to score and move the ball consistently.
Ain't Chip still there?
Chip Kelly's still there, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was
He don't have an offense. That's
yeah,
for
that
sure.
was I was picking them too. I picked UCLA. Man.
I think that's and in Illinois at Iowa. Does Iowa ride high off of that big win last week? I don't think so. If Iowa was at
It's hard to go to Iowa.
Yep,
and
I was about to
Yeah,
say
that's
that
right. That's
with
the only
the
reason I'm taking it,
stadium,
'cause it's at
and
Iowa.
we've been talking about it with the hospital. That whole environment is like it's hard to come back
Man,
down.
they had Minnesota people, waving and throwing their hands up to the hospital and forgetting that we got a game to play, and pop in the mouth. Here you go.
Yeah. So pick them.
So. And we already know this first one that we got up here.
First photo with the first game, because
Hold on, because George don't like Ohio State.
yeah,
Ohio
you
State.
were a few weeks ago Penn State. So who are you going with, and what's the spread?
I'm going with Penn State.
What's the
Big
spread?
upset.
Minus what?
And it might sound dumb, man, but minus what? Now minus nothing. They gonna win by a field goal in the last
Okay,
second. Bro.
minus
Maybe.
3. Okay, we gonna.
Hey, look, I said maybe.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You got to
say
pick.
Penn State.
Pick.
You
It's
say
Ohio
Penn
State.
Okay, it's I'm gonna say Penn
Okay.
State. I think they
You on the
defense
record.
gonna give O State offense some problems, and then I think offensively this might be the best team, and they not really offensive person juggernaut neither, but this is the best offensive team they gonna face O State. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you
So,
that.
Yeah.
I'll
so
give you that.
We gonna see. It's gonna
I think
be
next
on
week-
both sides. I think they D line can do some trouble, but I put my foot in my mouth a couple times about O State. So,
I'll give you that.
But they don't upset them.
I think the best receiver that defense is going to see is next week, though, Michigan. I think
Peoples.
Peoples is.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be
Yeah.
the best receiver there, best deep that they're going to see next week.
I don't
And
know.
then I got
KJ is an animal.
what?
Yeah.
KJ is an animal.
Then I got UCLA.
Like, yeah.
I got Iowa just because it's at Iowa. I got Georgia. And I got Michigan because you just said Indiana quarterback out. If he wasn't out, I'll be picking Indiana.
Indiana can score some points. That
Yeah, I know
that
they
game was
can.
intriguing a
They
few
can.
weeks ago.
They had what's name on the ropes last week too. And then Baylor. I think Baylor bounces back. I hate to do this to the with the midshipmen, but I'm taking SMU. I don't think Navy defense is gonna be able to stop SMU. Cincinnati close to Ohio. Ohio State. So
It's closer to Kentucky.
So I'm going with Temple, and then that's my upset pick. They could have did it last year. I'm gonna go with Arizona State, man.
Okay.
I know Oregon probably the better team, but Arizona State got to do something right now.
Well, he lost the quarterback, so it's hard to do that.
Yeah. Starting quarterback hurt.
Yeah, did you see the backup play the last couple times though? He's not bad.
He not the starter, though.
He got started.
It's the reason why he the backup. He lost to a freshman.
No, he a freshman too.
Oh, he a freshman too?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a
He's
freshman
still a
too.
backup.
Pardon me?
Yeah, he's still backed up though, but we'll see. No, my picks though.
Mine is I'm going with Ohio State. I say Ohio State scores 40 points on.
What's the
Penn
spread?
State.
What's your spread on it?
I don't think Penn State's going to score 40 points on Ohio State. So if Ohio State scores 40 points, Penn State's not going to win.
Why you looking at me?
I give it 14.
Okay.
I give him 14.
14. So to what, 26, 40? That's how I score?
Yeah. Ohio State's going to score 40 points. Then I don't think I'm stopping them. I'm going USC over UCLA. I'm going Iowa over Illinois. I'm going Georgia over Texas A&M. I'm going Michigan over Indiana. Baylor over Texas. SMU over Navy. I'm going with Cincinnati over Temple at home, since he's at home. And I'm going Oregon over Arizona State.
Dom, let's hear it.
That wasn't easy.
I'm a Michigan guy, so I probably gotta go with OSU for next week. So I gotta have OSU winning this week.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with USC. I'll take Iowa at home. Georgia at home, Michigan obviously over Indiana. And I think Baylor bounces back, so I'm going to go with them over Texas. And I'm going to go with Navy over SMU, just pick an upset. And then my uncle's got a couple kids at Cincinnati, so if he hears this, gotta go with Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Arizona State over Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay, respectable. But I'm going to call some audibles today. First, Ohio State, Penn State. I'm going to say Ohio State plus 21.
Plus 21.
I'm going to say 42-21. 42-21. And I think that's still going to be too close. I think Penn State's going to score like a late touchdown. It's going to make it look okay.
I'm telling you, bro.
I
If they score 40 points, it's a wrap. I don't see their defense giving up 40
this
points.
is and Chase is back. I think this is the most complete Ohio State team I've seen in a while. So I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I'm gonna take UCLA in the upset. My uncle's gonna hate me, but oh well. I'm gonna take UCLA. I'm gonna call another audible. I'm gonna say Illinois and Lovey pulls it out late at Iowa. I'm calling another audible too. I think Jimbo goes into Athens, makes it interesting, lets them hang around.
And man, you know what happened the last 2-3 weeks we've been going against Georgia.
Georgia's
Hell yeah.
Killing me.
Georgia's gonna be Georgia at some point this year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Texas A&M. Texas A&M needs a win. I think they're gonna catch Georgia sleepwalking. I'm gonna take Michigan over Indiana. Michigan's playing good football since we watched them versus Notre Dame. Offense looks like Harbaugh's letting someone else call the plays.
They're
scoring
better on offense.
I haven't seen Michigan
Yeah,
play.
it looks like he's not calling the plays. He's opening it up more instead of this 2 tight end, 3 tight end stuff and everything in front of the safeties, which is easy to guard. So I want to take Texas, but I'm not going to take Texas. I think Baylor bounces back too. I'm going to take Navy at home. I think they keep SMU's offense off the field by playing keep away. I'm going to go with Cincinnati just because I got roots in Cincinnati. I always root for the Bearcats. And I'm definitely going to take Oregon because I'm pulling for this Pac-12 to get in this playoff.
It's going to be Utah, though. If they get in, it's going to be Utah.
We'll see. But I'm taking Oregon. So let's talk about this injury to Tua. Does that change this college football playoff talk now? Because he's hurt. Do they give someone else the benefit of the doubt because the quarterback's out?
Depends on if Alabama can go and win.
I think Alabama wins out.
They still got to play in that SEC championship.
But they're not
winning that.
They won't be in that. They won't be in the SEC championship though.
Nope, they won't.
They won't.
Yeah, because LSU will be in there.
Because LSU will be in there.
Yeah.
Even if LSU loses, they have.
So they out. No, they out.
I don't think Alabama's gonna make
No,
it to the.
they out. That already did it. Once LSU to me, they won.
Right now, Georgia's 4 though.
Yeah.
But if Georgia loses LSU, that gives Georgia 2 losses. Who's
Yeah,
next
no,
up after?
I don't think that's going to put them up there though.
That's what I'm asking.
Minnesota kind of blew it.
Yeah.
Minnesota kind of blew it from last week. They'd probably put 2 Big Ten teams in.
Yeah, they already had 2 to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I don't think Alabama gonna make it, bro.
I don't think so either. But I think just because I think Tua being out is gonna sway that the voters toward
Putting them in
a
there?
Pac-12 or a Big 12 team versus that because of the star power.
Yeah.
Unless something crazy happens, but I mean it's college football, so we've seen that before. So did Jalen Hurts close this gap after?
What, the Heisman gap?
Yeah, I mean we all can agree it's probably Runaway Joey, like Runaway.
Who do you think your Heisman winner?
Oh, Joe Burrow for sure.
Joey B.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey,
Joey
look,
B, man.
even though I'm not no Ohio State fan, they did say what's his name got the same numbers in half as amount of time.
Oh, Justin Fields.
Yeah, like
They sleeping on Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a sleeper.
We'll see.
But he got 2 games to show that he's a Heisman candidate.
and that's one of them.
Penn State
Yeah.
and Michigan.
Yeah.
For sure. I think he's going to make it interesting for who finishes second. But we'll see how he. Penn State and Michigan are probably going to be his hardest test.
But to answer your question, I don't think that did though for him, for Jalen. No, I don't think that it showed a lot of good characteristics for him. But I don't think.
It's just Joey's to lose. I don't think at this point there's anything he can do, even if he lost the game.
Because even though y'all came back, remember they was getting their butt beat really bad.
Hey, just think about it. Joe Burrows was sitting on the bench at Ohio State. He wasn't even a starter.
You know why?
We're talking about him being maybe a number 1 draft pick and a Heisman winner now.
Schematics, though.
Yeah.
He didn't fit that system.
You're right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This guy who's pretty much running away with the Heisman race was sitting on the bench
2 years ago, yeah.
But, I mean, the systems don't look the same, but the game against Alabama, their system looked the same a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it did that game, man. A lot of the same plays that you seen Ohio State run that same week, it looked like it was the same plays that they designed for him. It's just they didn't use most of them.
Well, it looked the same now, yeah, because Ryan Day's calling the play. Yeah, but we talking before when we could watch Ohio State and we know Urban called that play.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Ohio State goes 5 wide and they run quarterback draw, Urban called that play.
Right. But we also knew that I can't say Joe Burrows would have started over Dwayne Haskins either. So
he didn't. That's the reason
he didn't. But I'm just saying, like, was he prepared to start
at that time?
Maybe
you know
not.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think he was. I think
That's the only reason because I think he better than Haskins was.
You do?
Yeah.
You see Haskins play? Or
Yeah.
you don't like Ohio?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always gonna say that. But Haskins did play. He was all right. He was all right.
It's tough, man. It's tough to judge that. Like, you know, Joe had a new team last year, learning everything, and Dwayne comes into a guy that really shaped the whole offense for him to be the leader, and he flourished in it. You know, and we said Justin Fields flourished too. I mean, it's kind of how we talked about Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. You know, we'll see after Justin Fields. That's if Ryan Day's still there.
What's the name? 2 Haskins. I wanted to see more than 1 year of that. You know what I'm saying? It was just 1 year.
We saw enough.
So?
We saw enough.
You ain't see what that
I seen what he did. Yeah, I like to see what I like to see one.
You saw you saw he had an NFL arm, an NFL body, could read the defense, and could put balls anywhere on the field.
We saw 50 touchdowns last year. Okay.
The conference was weak last year. Though.
Okay. We'll move
George
on.
never agree. He will never agree.
That's the reason I'm on here. I got to be the opposite of them.
How many sacks does Chase Young have?
I'm just saying, like, those facts. Like, 50 touchdowns was a fact.
Okay.
How many sacks does Chase Young get on Saturday?
2.
I say 3.5.
Yeah, he might. I'm be honest. He might get like 3, bro.
I'm gonna say 2.5.
Yeah, he's gonna be up there because he got 2 weeks off. You know what I'm saying? Like he hungry. I know he hungry.
I'll give him 2.5. I think that rest
Hey,
helped
but
him.
look, him and Weston ain't gonna be woofing though. The linebacker from Penn State, I guarantee y'all if y'all watch the action, if they get a chance to mingle with each other,
Is this the same linebacker from last year?
They're not. They're
You talking about number 11?
Yeah.
They ain't going to field the same time.
Man, trust me, he that crazy. Micah that crazy, bro. Like, they was woofing when we was in Texas. I told you they had to separate them, bro. And they was just coaching other teams when we was down at the Nike opening. Down like they was really going at each other, like talking about this
they
game.
both play defense. None of them play special teams. They will never be on the field together.
At some point in time, they gonna somebody woofing.
Pre-game.
Don't make a tackle on that sideline. Don't make a tackle on the sideline. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I watched that film with us playing Booker. I seen some of them kids over there spraying water.
Don't make a tackle over this on the sideline, bro. Don't think they ain't gonna be saying nothing. I used to do that too all the time.
Man, Gridiron Stories, man. Today's Gridiron Stories brought to you by me. And this is based off of, our guy Dom here. last year was the first time I've been to Wadsworth since I was in high school, or been out that area. And I was there just because of basketball scrimmage. So a lot's changed out there. And I was very intrigued by the environment, the atmosphere. The band was playing, everything with the field being elevated how it is, and the scoreboard how the town is, and the location behind the park that's right there, just everything, and I'm sitting there with my cousin, and we're just talking. I'm like, this is really a great football environment. It's a lot of people. You guys are playing Nordonia, by the way. It's a lot of people here. The band, I don't think people know how crazy their band is. With this stuff, I'm talking drumline. The stuff they're playing in the stands, and I don't know if you guys had everyone had highlighter stuff on. I don't know what that was about. So my question is to everyone: what's the craziest or the best environment or football stadium you guys have played in? And this could be high school and college. You're not there yet, Don. You're gonna see some crazy stuff too in college.
High school had to be the Maslins. Maslin Jackson and Maslin Washington. Maslin had back in the 90s, it was standing room only no matter what game it was, every game with Maslin. And then Maslin Jackson, it was a standing room game because we was in the Federal League, so it was a big conference game for us, and we ended up winning it my sophomore year. And that's when they had they marching band. Even though they had a big football team, they was known for their marching band. You were saying the bands, they was 400 deep.
Jackson's band's still huge.
Band's still here.
Band still
huge.
They
just don't got the bigger crowds like it used to, but that atmosphere was crazy when we went over there because, like I said, that was a big game, and we ended up beating them and taking the lead in the Federal League. And then college, we already talked about LSU, but one place that we played was Kansas State in Manhattan. And I was only 17 then, so it was kind of crazy out there in Manhattan. You wouldn't imagine, we was in the middle of nowhere, you wouldn't imagine how that purple and that gray was so loud. Because the stadium was only 70,000, I think, but it was loud. And every time you hear another Kansas State first down, then it was just, and they was just picking with us and everything on the sidelines, man. So it was kind of crazy being in that atmosphere too, man.
What's crazier, Manhattan or Lincoln, Nebraska?
Manhattan was crazier, man. Lincoln was quiet though, man. You wouldn't imagine. I thought with them being so up there as far as the better team. They was number one in the nation.
Was Eric Crouch on that team you played against?
No, it was Scott Frost.
Okay.
Scott Frost.
And he the head coach now?
He the head coach now.
Okay.
He ended up going to the Jets. Played safety for 2 years.
Okay.
Nebraska just was hot. You know what I'm saying? Their crowd wasn't crazy. They was just calm.
So they got a big
tradition. They got a big tradition. You know what I'm saying? So they don't gotta be overwhelming. Like, we know who we are. We Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know why.
Kansas State was, man. It was kind of weird being out there. I felt weird the whole time out there. It was weird being out there. So I just felt crazy. Like, I'm out here in Kansas. Like, where is Kansas at on the map again? But then was the ones. LSU was crazy too, of course. We already know the story about that. But that was expected though. It's LSU.
Yeah, I think you expect that.
It's 100,000. You know what I'm saying? But you don't go to Kansas State and you got 70,000, and they just as wild. But then again, hold on, we did have Marshall too. But Marshall was a whole different reason why it was crazy, because they was throwing beer cans at us and everything, and it was that's when they had Randy Moss and Chad Pennington on their team. So
I forgot you played against them too.
Man, I got to play against a lot of good players, man. That Hall of Famers, NFL dudes, man. It's crazy when I sit back and look at it. Like, dang, I played against 30 or 40 dudes that went to the league, 5 Hall of Famers. It's incredible. That's a blessing, man.
Yeah. Well, me, I got three stadiums in high school that was wild that I played in. Foster Stadium down there in Canton. I played right after McKinley was coming off the national championship. They was back-to-back national champions, and I was coming in to play, and it was wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Maslin, of course, you know, it kind of took me by a loop. You know, as far as they covered their whole home stands, they covered both the end zone stands, and they covered
Part of your thing.
3/4 of the visitor stand.
Yeah, that was weird. My first time down there too.
You know, and
that
I
was
was
weird
like,
seeing that. Yeah.
Well, where are all our fans at? Our fans was like in the little 25-yard line corner. Like they have no room to cheer. Like if they cheered, you couldn't hear them because there was so many Maslin fans.
Yeah, that was
there.
weird
And
too.
so,
I'll give you that.
That was kind of crazy. And I know George, you probably didn't know about it, but Green Street down there in St.
Maple.
Pete,
Yeah.
I played at the old Green Street before all the updates and changes, and they have all them bugs coming off by the railroad.
By the railroad, yeah.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
still
Like,
here, too.
And it was crazy down at Green Street down there too. And then they used to make the visiting team walk all the way up the hill to the school
And then you go into like a
where you for the locker room. Like you had to walk to
Because
going
Costco
back
wasn't
to
there. Yeah,
basketball.
Costco wasn't there.
Yeah,
So,
the Costco's wasn't there.
Yeah.
They had 2 locker rooms on the field still. They had their freshman locker room. That's where you go at now, and they had their regular locker room. But they made the visiting team walk all the way to the school up that big old hill to the locker room.
Wait, was LeBron on that team? Sheehan?
Yeah, they all was on that team. They all was a year younger than I was. LeBron didn't play. I don't think that our game
That year?
Willie played.
Willie
Willie
Okay.
played. Sheehan played. But LeBron didn't. Romeo played. But that was kind of the atmosphere is kind of crazy down there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was so mad. I think that's probably one of the maddest times I have been to a coach. You know, I'm thinking we're gonna go in the back of the end zone. He do his yelling, talking, and you know we get ready for the second half. Man, he was so mad. He made us walk up that hill to the locker room, and I was heated, man. And I was, man, we got one. It's like a workout. Like
It was.
like,
It is.
Do you want me to come back down this hill to play a second half? Man, I
And
was
there's probably no
mad,
steps
man.
and all that. You know, I forgot none of that was there.
In college, though, it's probably Central State was crazy. Central State was crazy, not because of the game, not because of the football game. The band.
The band, yeah.
The band sat on our visiting sideline and played the
whole
entire game. They dancers danced. They band played the whole game. Like when we called timeouts, I swear they got louder. The band would hit them drums harder when we called timeout. It was crazy down there. And then St. Joe's in Indiana, we went there for the play in the conference championship. We was undefeated, and just like George said, man, we came out, man, they throwing batteries at us. They yelling, cussing at us, calling us all kinds of crazy names, and it was just a crazy atmosphere going in there and playing for the conference championship at their house. You know what I'm saying? So those would be mine.
What's the wildest stadium you played in, Dom?
Probably my junior year in the regional finals. We were playing Maslin. It wasn't at Maslin. It was at North Canton Hoover, and we were walking out of the tunnel, and it just everybody was booing, and all you could hear was Maslin fans. So because they covered the away side everywhere,
Right,
everywhere.
Booing, yeah. That was wild, but probably the best stadium was at home at Artwright when we were playing Worcester last year in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, it was packed and it was sweet, especially because you knew it was for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's up. Do you have an ideal stadium you want to play in? Yeah, I mean, and you never really thought about that. I'm like, that one like, that you want to play in, like, you know, like, would you like to play at Mount Union Stadium, or, you know, yeah, that would, you know, that'd be dope.
Yeah, Mount Union's dope. That'd be fun.
I like that little hangover.
Yeah.
That old school hangover.
I think the wildest stadium, hands down, gotta be Steubenville, man. In high school, like it's like a miniature version of Maslin. The fans are on your side, everything, and they're loud, but the school sits in the valley. So like when you get into Steubenville, you can see the school from off in the distance, and you can look down into
down there.
And then you got to walk by their stadium walking in, and it's the same thing. Like boo, like our locker room is under the stadium, so they're like making all this noise and like stumping and everything. And you come in, it's boo, boo. I mean, even to the point where they're heckling us, getting off the bus. We're leaving, still getting heckled, getting off the bus. And just, being naive, not knowing the history between Buchtel and Steubenville. When we played them in 2005, that was the first time since Buchtel had beat them for those back-to-back state championships. So, I didn't know anything about it. That's who, Buchtel beat until you get down there and you start seeing, like, shirts like, we've been waiting X amount of years to play you guys. So, and then it's like right on the border. You can throw a rock to West Virginia from there. So that's high school. College, man, I think it's too. Man, Wittenberg is crazy. Like Wittenberg is one of the top Division III football programs of all time, and they have this rep for being like good, like and dirty, like like they're they play this music when they're coming out, and they enter coming from like a hill. So they walk through their stands coming down, and then they walk onto the field. They walk around, they come out the end zone, they come across the 50, like run around the 50, and they're all pointing at you while this music is playing with this tiger roaring. And, like, as a freshman, I didn't know. I didn't.
You started laughing at him.
Oh, I hit them up for 13 catches that game. So me, that don't bother me coming from the stadiums I've been, but some other guys on the team, that bothers them. But that place is always loud. Even going down there for basketball, they're one of the top Division III basketball programs all the time too. And it was loud, and you hear the boos, and you get some trash thrown at you at the hoop games. And I think Wabash too in Indiana. Like, I never liked playing in Indiana. Like I pretty much hate that state because my win-loss record is terrible in the state of Indiana. But what's different about Wabash, a lot of people don't. Wabash is all boys school college, so like they get a lot of boys from that don't go to like the Valparaisos and what's the other school, Marion, and they pull a lot out of like Arizona. Like they got like a huge pipeline of kids out of Arizona. But it's
that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's like you see some of these kids they got on the team, quarterback 6'7", they got 2 6'8" tackles, they got a 6'5" safety. But the environment is crazy. Like their student section, all males. But I mean, but it's weird.
That'd be weird.
Seriously. I had a conversation with Zane about this when he went up there before they played him this year, and I told him it was gonna be crazy, and he texted me at the game, dude, this is crazy up here because it's different because it's an all boys school, but they still get fans, and it's wild. The basketball games is wild too. Like it's weird just seeing like your student section is males. But that stadium is wild too. So, and that's like I said, that's the reason why I just have no luck in Indiana. For real. So I have no luck. But before we get out of here, let's talk about recruiting, Coach.
So we're gonna touch on a couple different things in recruiting today. First thing is official visits. We have a lot of kids that's getting ready to take their official visits and go to these schools. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row when you go. Make sure you get your waiver. Make sure you have your clearinghouse and things done. Make sure you got your ACT score. Make sure you got your GPA score that you need when you go into these visits. Don't just go to the visit. I know when you go into the visit, it's a free weekend. It's a free getaway, But if it's not meaningful, if you don't really mean to go to that school, or you're not really trying to go to that school, don't waste your time, your parents' time, or those coaches' time, because they can be recruiting somebody that really wants to go there. Division I, Division II, Division III all have different requirements. make sure you read up on that and know the requirements for when you're going out there to take those visits to those schools. Some schools only require ACT score. Some schools say, hey, we go off your GPA, how high you need your GPA to be. So make sure you check in with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Make sure you got everything filled out, done. I think it's like a $75. You can get a waiver from your counselor. So check that with your counselors also. You're allowed 5 paid official visits. So you can attend 5 schools paid visits. So make sure you know what schools you're interested in. Make sure if you're only going to go to 2 visits, that's fine. But make sure you know those 2 visits are the schools that you really want to attend. Like I said, don't just go out there and just waste somebody's time or waste yours either. Other thing is, I've been getting a lot of questions about core GPA. Doing this recruiting stuff, I get a lot of people saying, hey, I got 3.2. I said, okay, well, is that your core GPA? And it's like, well, what's your core GPA? Not your what you just got the first grading period. That's not your core. That's what you got for the first marking period. Your core GPA is all your Englishes, all your math, all your natural or physical science, social studies, history, government. You got to take a foreign language, and then just depending on the school, like a Catholic school, it'd be a religion class somewhere or a philosophy class, and like we got philosophy in public school now, which is kind of different for us.
I took philosophy as a freshman for the wrong reasons, though.
Yeah.
I didn't understand philosophy at the time. The class was called Philosophy of Loving Friends. But I was looking at it from a whole different perspective of why I was taking that class, and it got weird quick.
For math, you must have Algebra 1 or higher. No math count below Algebra 1. So when I do it in high school, we make them freshmen take Algebra 1 their first year. And so we know, all right, you have Algebra 1 your freshman year, you can't take nothing lower than that now. So Algebra 1 or higher. 4 years, when you're in prep school, or like we got some kids that's in like not really junior college but prep school. So those are still high school academic courses. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at those, remember that those you're getting more high school academic courses when you're in those prep schools. But they taught by qualified instructors and stuff like that too. But make sure you're going and you're talking to your counselor about your core classes. Get your core GPA. Now they got A plus, A minus. All those change now. So if you got a B, it's a 3.0. If you got a B minus, a 2.8. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're checking with your counselor, to add your scores up to make sure you know exactly what your core GPA is. You cannot include your arts and your little craft classes or your gyms. No, those aren't part of your core. Your core classes are like your English, math, science, social studies. Those are your core classes that you need to have when you're going to tell a coach about your GPA. And then it's getting down to that time for you high school football seniors. You need to take every test you can. So if it's ACT is in December, you need to be there. If it's again in January, you need to be there. You need to take as many times as you can right now. The October one is going on, so I think the next one is in December. And you need to take that one. You need to take the one in January, and because signing day is in February.
Yeah, I think the next one is December 8th, like right after the championship, if I'm not mistaken. What you get in ACT?
19.
19?
Yeah, I'm retaking it this December.
Yeah. So, like I said, things to know, and then we'll be getting out of here. But eligibility center. Make sure you're on the eligibility center. Make sure you got everything marked off on the eligibility center. Make sure you registered. Make sure you know your core classes, your core courses, and your GPA from those core courses. Make sure you meet with your counselor and talk to them about it. ACT, SAT. Sometimes, people take the ACT. I took it 6 times, 6 times. So, sometimes I got stuck with taking it, but I never thought about, hey, maybe I should take the SAT and just see what that one was about, So, look at those, get your scores, because the higher your GPA, the lower the score you can have. So if you got a 3.7, 3.8 GPA, you set for a Division I school. You don't even have to have an 18 on your ACT. So, keep your GPA up high. That's the lower your ACT score can be. Even though we want to strive for greatness, but it got that scale that you can go on. Make sure you're looking over your transcripts with your counselors, looking at all your grades, and seeing what you can and cannot retake, or what might help you as far as helping your GPA get up a little bit more.
I got a question for you too, Austin, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do all kids have to register with the Publishing Clearinghouse if they want to go to college and play football?
Yes, everybody.
For every division, no matter what division?
Yes.
So that's what you meant with the register, or was you just saying register as far as the ACT, or register with the Publishing Clearinghouse?
No, with the eligibility center, everybody has to register.
Okay. Oh, that's the clearinghouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the clearinghouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has to register.
Okay.
Cool. One question. Division twos. Do they allow overnights?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing, before we get out of here, that's with you guys that are going, to smaller schools, 1AAs and Division twos and Division threes, take advantage of those overnights. Narrow it down. I'm not saying take 1 million overnights, but your 2 or 3 schools, get up there and see the campus, because when you go on your recruit and you see a football game, I wouldn't say it's an illusion, but it's there to show you what they want to show you, essentially, as far as the football aspect of it. But make sure that you get up to the campus, so you can see the environment, so you can see what's going on, see more than just football facilities. Walk through some places where classrooms, dining halls, libraries. Just explore, because you see a lot of kids pick schools they're going to visit, especially these lower level schools, and they complain of just the environment. And it could just be it's not for them, or it could be they're homesick. I know Hiram, like I said, was a culture shock for me, just because you coming from a fast-paced inner city life, where you hear noise, you hear this, you hear that, and you get up to Hiram. Hiram's 3 square mile town. That's it. So it's small. It's 4 ways in the Hiram and it's 4 ways out. You go this way, you're heading towards Aurora and Manaway. You go this way, you're heading towards Kent and Ravenna. You go this way, you're heading towards Youngstown, Newton Falls, and if you go the other way, you're heading through Burton, Kinston, Chagrin Falls, and Solon, and then you're heading on 480, and then you're back in the east side of Cleveland. So explore the school that you want to go to, mingle or talk to someone that's not an athlete.
Yes.
It's not hard. You're going to see them. They're going to know you're overnight just by looking at you. It's not hard to distinguish a kid that's there on an overnight. So just take advantage of that, and it'll help you narrow it down. You don't want to get somewhere and you don't like it because of the campus, because your visit was kind of an illusion. You saw what you wanted to see versus the entire picture. So, but Don, man, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate you coming. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media.
Follow me on Instagram at 17Dahmer, and follow me on Twitter at Dominic Loparo 17.
Yeah, we had a pleasure having you on, man. It's
You
been
definitely did, man.
You might have to change your name on there to Mr. Consistent.
Well, that's what it is. No, that's just been had that
that's a nice way to go. But make sure everyone continue to follow us on Facebook. That's at Fix Sports Academy. Fix Sports Academy on Twitter. The podcast, Get Fixed the Podcast. That's Get Fixed the POD on Twitter. Follow us at Get Fixed the Podcast on Instagram. And I'll let my co-hosts give their social media. Coach George.
No, yeah, you already know mine. One Man, One Dream ENT on Twitter. Then there's One Man, One Dream _ENT. That's the number one in between the man and the dream on both those platforms.
Mine is on IG is Coach Klopp, and the same thing is on Twitter, Coach Klopp. And
So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.